This is a turning point for the Cardinals, yes or no?
Turning point from where? Like, there's only one direction they can really go.
Is there? Could they? What if they look like this again next week?
Yeah, I mean,
so I guess that's my.
I guess that's very possible. The reality of this situation is in what we outlined kind of going into this, where we thought that the Cardinals should take care of business and beat, a Washington Commanders team and beat their former coach, the predecessor to Jonathan Gannon. Instead, they did the exact opposite and are sitting here picking up the pieces. Now they have to, on the fly, figure out how to start to trend in the right direction against a lot tougher opponents. The San Francisco 49ers, Green Bay Packers, and then you've got a team in the Los Angeles Chargers who are playing a lot better than people expected in Week 7. So Arizona Cardinals 1-3 going into Week 5. It's not a place where you want to be, and to avoid a complete catastrophic start to year 2 and another 1-6, 1-7 start. You're going to have to surprise people. So now it becomes more of a Herculean effort for a team that that people have zero confidence in right now.
I just feel like when you lose the way they did today, there's not much this franchise can do or say. You lose by one possession, you lose on a missed field goal. There are positives to talk about. There's progress, tangible progress that we can see. When you look like that on the players that you opted to sign, to acquire, to double down on, and the coaching staff that you believe in the front office that you support, Dave Sears and Monty Austinford, et cetera, and that's the product you put on for your team and your fan base, I should say, they're going to have to go out and prove it to people. Not in the headlines, not through social media, not at practice. They're going to have to go out and decide what kind of team they want to be this year and do they want to compete,
right?
Or are they going to be a joke? Because here's what I will tell you. Like, we've dogged on their personnel. They have enough personnel to win. They have enough personnel to win games. Look at some of these teams that are winning in the NFC that are like the Packers lost. They won games with Malik Willis the last 2 weeks. Tampa Bay's doing it with Baker Mayfield. Minnesota, like Sam Darnold was a joke last year, and they're 4-0. Like, teams are finding a way not only to be competitive, but to win games. For you to put this kind of outing on display for your fans, you should be embarrassed, everybody top to bottom. So it comes down to, we're going to find out the character of the people that are not Michael Bidwell, that are in charge of this franchise from a football standpoint. Do these people want to put on a product that their fan base can be proud of and say, I want to invest financially and emotionally in the Arizona Cardinals? And if you don't put forth the effort necessary and we see more of this, then we are going to have to call for changes, top to bottom. Everything will be under the microscope. And guess what? We'll have to do this entire thing again. But I am somebody that tends to believe that Kyler Murray is a big-time player, that Monty Austinford knows what he's doing, and Jonathan Gannon's a good coach. So I am, as much as we're frustrated today, conditioned to believe that they are going to figure it out.
Well, none of those guys are free of any of the criticism right now. I mean, right, I mean, it's a firestorm right now, and the only way that they're going to change and work their way out of that is by playing better football, and they're going to have to chip away. Like, as much as I have confidence in them to play better and produce way better results than 42-14 and narrow the margin of defeat and hopefully change some of what we believe to be probably, because I'm not going to pick this team to win over the next couple games until they prove me different, right? I mean, are you going into San Francisco and saying, hey, they're going to shock the world? Because at this, well, you better, because every time you predict a win, it's a loss. And every time you predict a loss, it's a win.
I'm 0-8.
You're 0-8. But like the head coach, the quarterback, every single player in that locker room, they have to do their job just to start chipping away at this thing and get back on the right track. They've put themselves in such a devastating hole now.
They wet the bed. They've wet the bed to start this year.
No, more than that. Like, I mean, they fell into a deep, dark hole with this loss and how it happened. Like, in order to start to earn the fan base back and everything that they talked about and the process and where they want to go and what, what they're playing for, and it's to compete for Super Bowls, it's all going to fall on like deaf ears right now until you prove people wrong with your play. Like, it's not like you were close against the Bills, you beat the crap out of the Rams, and then you lost to the Lions. Like, those losses now, they don't hold any merit.
Right. They're not moral victories.
No,
to the
because
people who
this
thought
this
that.
loss counts just the same. But now you did it against the guy that you kicked out of town and Jaden Daniels and the guy that you fired.
Well, it proves what a lot of people were fearful of is like, does this team is worth its salt? And I thought after they went into Philadelphia last year and beat JG's ex-team, I'm like, that's the DNA of this team. Turns out Philly is just huge frauds. And like that victory means less and less the further we get away from it. Now it's like, can you win close games? Can you beat bad teams? I don't know the answer to that. Clearly right now, you're a team that people look at on their schedule and think that's a win. Like the Commander fans are laughing at the Cardinals and their fan base today because of how you treated Cliff Kingsbury and the quarterback head coaching combination that you have right now. Like the confidence has to come from one place, internally. And unless that changes and you can put together competent, quality performances that lead to wins, to your point, it's not just good enough to go out there, if it ever was, and lose to San Francisco by 4 points. I mean, those teams destroyed you last year. I want to be positive. We're overly positive on this show.
Sure.
But I'd be lying to tell you if I have legitimate concerns about how they finish this season, who finishes this season, and what this team looks like 6 months from now. If there are going to be more performances like that around the corner. Winning single-digit games, 4, 5, 6 in a year 2 of a rebuild with a $50 million quarterback, that's recipe for people getting fired. That's the NFL. Welcome to the NFL.
We all silly like the mayor.